This is your guided notes video for 1.2 variables. The learning target today is I can identify variables in an experiment. As you watch, a reminder to pause the video when you need. You can go back and rewatch at any point, and to take notes as you go. And Cornell Notes is an option, but it is not required. The first two variables that we want to define are manipulating and independent compared to responding and dependent. So manipulating or independent variables is what is tested and what is being changed. That is the action that the scientist does, what they manipulate. The responding and dependent variable is the data collected or the response observed. So what occurs after you change something, all right? So that's what you are going to observe or collect data on. Here you have two experiments with a plant. Both of them, they are going to measure or observe. The dependent responding variable is going to be the height of the plant. Okay, that is the result of the experiment. The independent manipulated variable for the first one is the amount of water. One gets a little bit of water and the other gets a lot of water. Comparing it to the other experiment where they are changing the amount of fertilizer. If you look at this, you should be able to tell me manipulating is the amount of water for the first one and the amount of fertilizer for the second one. And then they're measuring the height. So then we also need to talk about the controls. The variables that stay the same in the experiment are what we refer to as the control variables. Those are the things that you want to limit. You want to keep everything the same so that you're only testing one variable, which is your manipulating variable. So I'm going to read a story problem here. And as I'm reading, see if you can identify the manipulating, responding, and control variables. 3 redwood trees are kept at different humidity levels inside a greenhouse for 12 weeks. 1 tree is left outside in normal conditions. The heights of the trees are measured once a week. So can you tell me what is manipulating? What did they test? What did they change? Right? For this first problem, they are changing the location of the redwood trees. The greenhouse has different humidity levels and the other tree is left outside. What is responding? What they're going to measure or observe is the height of the tree. And what is the control? This one, they don't necessarily mention a lot of variables that they're keeping the same. They would want to do the same amount of water, but they do tell you that the time is 12 weeks, that the 3 trees inside are going to be recorded for 12 weeks, and the 1 tree outside is also recorded for 12 weeks. 1 tank of goldfish is fed the normal amount of food once a day. The second tank is fed twice a day. The third tank is fed 4 times a day during a 6-week study. The fish's weight is recorded daily. So what is manipulated, what is responding, and what is the controls? So the manipulating is going to be the amount of food, right, and how many times they're fed per day. The manipulating is going to be the number of times they're fed. They're all going to be fed a normal amount of food, and it's whether it's once a day, twice a day, or 4 times a day. The responding will be what is recorded or observed. So looking at the story problem, you should be able to tell me that it is the fish's weight. And the controls would be that there should be the same number of fish. It should be the same temperature. It's going to be the same duration of study, which for this one, they tell you it's 6 weeks. And we're going to do one more story problem together. Pea plant clones are giving different amounts of water for a 3-week period. The first pea plant receives 400 milliliters a day. The second pea plant receives 200 milliliters a day. The third pea plant receives 100 milliliters a day. The fourth pea plant does not receive any extra water. The plant only receives natural ways of receiving water. The heights of the pea plants are recorded daily. All right, so think about it. What is manipulating and responding? It would be the amount of water, right? They give you the different values for the milliliters of water given a day. What is responding? What are we going to observe or record? The height of the pea plant. And what is the control, right? You would want the control to be everything else that you can limit so that you're only testing the water. They would be planted in the same area. It's for the same 3-week period. You're recording everything daily. Ideally, they're getting the same amount of sunshine, things like that. So that was your guided notes video on 1.2 variables. I can identify variables in an experiment.